think so.
All right.
I hope so.
Well, Kimani with the S2000 with 200,000 miles on it.
211,000.
211,000.
That 11 is very important.
Now, what's the? It already sounds different than the other one I've been in. So, what do you have for an exhaust on it?
Skunk 2.
Okay. And why'd you choose that one?
It was not $800. No, in all seriousness, if it was up to me, I would get a Tanabe, now called Revel, I think.
Okay.
Revel Medallion Touring. I would love to get one of those, but I'm not spending $1,000 on a stainless steel exhaust.
They cost that much?
Mm-hmm. It's like well over $1,000 now. They used to be like $700, but once again, it's an exhaust. It sounds good. I'm not using it for like the track, so I'm not a firm believer in spend the most money.
Yeah.
Means you have the better car. It's
right.
If you can build it the way you want it and not spend a ton of money, I think more power to you.
I think there's something to be said for that too. If it looks clean and it looks good, and you know they did it on a budget, it's almost means more than if they just threw a bunch of money at it.
Exactly. I firmly believe that money does not buy taste, and you see it every day.
With anything, with weddings, houses.
Mm-hmm. Just because you put a lot of money on it does not mean it's gonna look good. I've seen cars with $10,000 paint jobs and $8,000 wheels that look like garbage.
Yeah.
Like I've seen Miatas that were put together, car and all, for $8,000 that look cleaner than some of those cars.
Yeah.
I'm like, money doesn't buy taste, and there's no going around it.
And did you always want one of these, or was this?
Oh, absolutely. Funny enough, I think I went through like 5 or 6 different dream cars before I arrived at this, but ultimately I've wanted one of these for, I want to say, 7 or more years.
And you've had this for how long?
3 years this October. It'll be 3 years this October.
Were you nervous when you bought it and it had 170K on it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I remember talking to my buddies.
That's a lot of miles for an S2000.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I remember talking to my buddies, and I was like, yo, I don't know if I should go get this one. It's kind of high mileage. And they were like, why are you keeping your girl tight for the next guy? It's just miles. I'm like, I mean, when you put it that way.
Yeah.
And honestly, with 178,000 miles, I felt less guilty about driving it, which is what this car was intended for. I don't understand people who spend $60,000 on a 2-liter Honda from 2002 just to keep it in a garage.
Yeah,
Dude, the second you drive it out, all of that value is gone.
Yeah.
It's not like a rare Ferrari where you can drive it around, do a couple of track days, take it to a couple of shows, and it's still holding its value. It is a Honda.
Yeah.
People, it is a Honda from 2000.
Although since the pandemic, that doesn't matter anymore. It's crazy.
Yeah. I got this at the kind of the height of that, before I even knew that that's where used cars were going.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, I'm going to just go get one for my 22nd birthday before, everything just goes to garbage. Because I already saw a trend of them getting to where the NSX was going.
Yes.
And I didn't even know that the whole pandemic thing was going to just hit like that.
Make it absolutely out of control.
When I got it, and after that S2K prices started doing this, I was like, holy crap, I'm glad I got this, because I'm probably never going to be able to do this again. And there's a bunch of people like the guy at the parking lot that was like, hey, I'm hoping to go get one. And it was
while we were shooting our B-roll, someone walked up, check it out, asking about it. I mean, they're very unique looking cars.
I think
in general
are probably the most timeless car that Honda's
they
ever
have great
put out.
lines.
Yeah, I love it so much.
Yeah.
It's amazing. But I tell myself all the time, if something were to ever happen to this, if I get hit by a drunk driver, if I get T-boned, if something happens to this, I don't think I'll ever be able to get another one of these.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'd be able to get one of them in my right mind, because with the way prices are going, I'm not gonna go spend $30,000 on a Honda from 2003 with 100,000 miles. It doesn't make any sense.
Where's the front bumper from? What bumper is that?
So that is actually Honda's 20th anniversary bumper.
It is, okay, for the S2000s?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
debuted for the Tokyo Auto Show back in 2000 and... Don't hate me. Please, S2000 people, don't castrate me. It's either 2019 or 2020. I don't remember. I think it was 2019, or it might have been 2018.
So did they put it on an S2000 for that year and just mark it as that we'll sell this bumper separately?
Yeah. Okay. So they brought back a whole line of 20th anniversary parts. They had like this radio door. It was like had the 20th anniversary of the outline of the S2000. They had the bumper. I think there was a few other little bits and bobs that they came out with, but ultimately, if you didn't buy them when they announced them, there was no way that you were gonna get one, because people just bought them up and then just started reselling.
They resell pretty high compared to what you get them for.
This bumper, I'm not ashamed to admit, is a rep. It's not a real 20th anniversary bumper. I paid $950 for the bumper and the lip. If I would have went to try and find an OEM one online, actually, funny enough, but right before I pulled the trigger on this one, one popped up, and they were asking, I don't know how much they got for it, but they were asking $3,000 for it.
Wow.
And I'm like, dude, it is a piece
for a
of
bumper?
plastic. I'm like, I'm not spending that much money, and I have to drive from Mountain Home to Boise.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not spending $3,000.
It's the part of the car that gets the most.
Exactly. And then to spend another $1,000 on paint and stuff, I'm like, there's no way that you'll catch me doing that. It's stupid. I have other ways I could spend my money, but
it's so unique though, because when I saw it, I think I was on the Shark Fest Instagram or somebody Boise Instagram, just trying to find people to film with, and I saw your Instagram and I saw the front of this car, and I had just filmed that other S2000, which is completely stock and in impeccable condition, but I saw this bumper. I was like, wow, that looks so different than any S2000 I had seen, and I had no idea what that bumper was. And it makes the whole front of the car look completely different.
Yeah, I think it adds a little bit of length to it. I don't know if I really like that, but the one thing that I liked about the 20th anniversary bumper was, I think, the uniqueness. Not a lot of other S2000s have it, and it's new, so it's like a fresh new thing. Like, everybody has a Voltex bumper, everybody has a spoon bumper, everybody upgrades their AP1s with the AP2 front bumper and lip, and I'm like, I would like a front bumper that looks kind of fresh and new, but also doesn't look super aggressive, because I'm not racing this thing. I don't want it to look like a race car.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really want that. I just want it to look simple and clean. Yeah. I think this is...
You don't want to be Suki from Too Fast, Too Furious?
No, as much as I loved her, honestly, I think I wanted to go my own way. But honestly, if I could get Suki's S2K, oh my god.
You have to yell "smack that ass" every time.
Yeah, every single time.
Every time you hit the gas, you have to yell that. Absolutely. I don't know if you're aware of that fact.
Yeah, I am. Either that or the Johnny Tran S2000. Honestly,
it's the same car.
Yeah, same car, painted, same body kit, same everything.
I love how they did that with a lot of that stuff. Now, you told me earlier, how long have you been doing photography with cars and?
So I started just generally just picking up a camera back in 2017, but we were just shooting, just me and my buddy shooting each other, just downtown and stuff, West Palm Beach. But I want to say that I really got into shooting cars when I got here in 2019. Kind of more so around 2020, because I had the camera and I started seeing cool cars that I liked here, and I was like, hey, I'll just take a picture of that, and it turned into, my buddies wanted photos of their cars, and then that turned into, hey, I know a guy that wants photos, and then that turned into hey, maybe I can make something out of this.
Yeah.
So all in all, maybe 3 or 4 years of just doing that. So.
And you've got a pretty decent following now, it seems like.
It's nice. I don't know where half of them came from, because I don't even know a quarter of that many people in Idaho, but it's
the same way I found you. I didn't run into you anywhere or meet you anywhere. I followed a few different pages for cars in Idaho, and then car stuff in Idaho, and then you popped up on something I don't know if it was a Who You Should Know, or it was a
you were
shared on one of their stories. That was literally how I found you.
Oh, okay. Somebody probably shared something. That's like,
but it was still so random. And I've been hitting some people up, but I've been.
It's the best taco spot.
Really?
Mountain Home, yeah. But yeah, no, funny enough, half my I want to say like 3/4 of my following is just like, I think it's just random people from when I made like a stupid Instagram reel like last year.
Yeah.
And half of them, they're not even active, so it's like it doesn't even show that like people see my stuff. So I don't read too much into the Instagram thing anymore like I used to. It just but it is nice to know that there are people out there who enjoy the art that I'm putting out.
No, definitely. You put awesome stuff out there.
I appreciate that.
I really am impressed. Like,
I'm trying. I'm trying really hard.
Yeah. No. What's been the hardest part, other than obviously, like, progressing with the photography and the cameras and everything? Has finding content been hard? Finding people to shoot?
Yeah, I'd say.
Because that's been my biggest struggle.
Right next to finding clientele. I would say just editing, finding a style of editing that I want to do. And even then, it's like, some people have said that my style right now is good, but I'm chasing something that you
have a goal or a style you want to achieve,
and I'm just not there yet. And I don't know if it's just my composition or like my equipment or I'm not there yet to like have the eye for it. But that is probably the hardest thing, because you can ask anyone. I beat myself up over my photos all the time, probably more than I should. But honestly, I feel like if I'm not doing that, I'm not improving, or I don't have the goal or the drive to improve.
Yeah, there's something to be critical or analytical about your own work and find ways to improve. Because if you weren't doing that, you would never
if I was
continue to grow as a person.
If I was just complacent and satisfactory with all my photos, then I wouldn't get any better.
Right.
There's some good in
that's
being
important.
Really critical about how I shoot,
but not to the point where you're defeating yourself, right?
That is my problem.
That's the hardest part. I struggle with that too, man.
Yep, because I'll see other people doing like stuff that I want to do. I'm like, why can't I do that? What am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
And I'll just kind of to the point where I've almost just stopped completely. I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. But then I see other people putting stuff out, and I'm like, no, I gotta keep it. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
No. The hardest part has been that for me, and just pushing myself to reach out to people. Like I was telling you earlier, like sending you a message on Instagram to be like, hey, can I film your car? Like just some rando slide in your DM to do this is like,
that is what I have to do.
So unnerving, and throwing yourself out there, and people might not.
Yeah, and honestly, I've never been one to be able to handle rejection. Yeah, that's now on the internet. I can't handle rejection.
Anyone who rejects me, I put a little note on their Instagram. I'm like, okay, now I know.
Yeah.
If I ever blow up, screw you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, hey, I remember you.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite photographers in the game, he just released a whole new line of shirts. It was like, there are no rules. And I clicked with that. Because there's no one thing that you have to do in this that will set you like...
Yeah, there's no bucket that you can just be thrown into.
And even if you had that bucket, why would you
want to be like everyone else?
Exactly.
When you're trying to express your creativity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's your creativity. It's your goal. It's your drive. You do it. You know? You add your own little flair to it. You figure it out as you go, what you like, what you don't like. If you go out and shoot for $20 and turns out like, hey, you want to charge more, go for it.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to start somewhere. Or if you start editing your photos a certain way and you don't like it, like just start playing around with certain things. You don't have to necessarily have one guy's. Just because I may have more experience or more time in it doesn't necessarily mean I know what's best, because even I'm still figuring it out right now as I go, and it's hard.
It just allows you to pick and choose what you like or what you don't like from certain people doing the same thing and build your own flavor.
Yep. Because if I go out and tell somebody like, hey, don't do this specific thing because it sucks because I don't like it,
right?
They won't know why not to do that specific thing, and then they'll just not do that specific thing. They won't know why they're not doing it.
Right.
They just know that they shouldn't do it because someone else says they're not supposed to do it. And I don't think that that's...
Well, I like everything you're doing, even though I don't know anything about photography.
It's hard. No, she's gone.
Yeah, we're still having heat problems with the GoPros.
Yeah,
but
it's
that's
funny
fine,
because
this is the only one that
on blast on the windshield.
It's fine.
Right now.
It's like this is the one that matters anyway. So
it's wild. It's pretty cold on the windshield too.
I know, it's like nice. Well, this one's nice and cool.
Yeah.
But thank you for doing this again. Like this is huge,
dude,
and
this is sick.
I'm glad I could promote your stuff. And
been on YouTube before.
Yeah, and you're gonna be on YouTube, man. And 400 people might watch it.
Dude, that's actually way more people than usual.
It's not much, but I'm just gonna keep hammering away at it.
Listen, man, I'll be lucky if 100 people see my photos when I post. Instagram just hates me.
Well, I'll make sure I put your we put your Instagram thing right here,
right there,
right there. Yeah, right there. And then and we'll promote it a bunch too. And I'm looking forward to it. But thanks again, I really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, no problem, dude.
This has been awesome.
Yeah, this is sick.
Yeah,
I'm loving this. This is like,
it's fun, isn't it?
It's rare I get to tell people like all about the car.
Yeah,
and stuff,
dude, definitely.
Long before the cop even knows you're coming.
And then there was no thing. It was just this little button system inside, like they put it like right in here. Oh fuck! You weren't kidding when you said you freaking.
I hooned the fuck out of this thing. Honestly, the first time I ever did donuts on the new wheels was not the new wheels, or these tires. Because I've had these tires since last year. The first time I did donuts was just this summer.
Really?
Yeah. It hasn't rained enough to where I can actually get it out to slide, because this thing doesn't have enough torque to do it on its own.
Not on the low end like that. Maybe if you're like doing 9,000 RPMs and you just crank the wheel.
Yeah. And at that point I would just
at that point you're gonna die.
Yeah. These things, the diffs in these things are just absolute paper. They can't handle it.